2 decades before Colin Kaepernick took a knee, there was the story of another sports star who was also shut out from his sport.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was Steph Curry really before Steph Curry.
I never saw somebody shoot like that.
Who was this dude torching the Lakers?
He was amazing. Abdul-Rauf made a name for himself 30 years ago in the NBA. You might remember the story. All that took a turn, though, when he decided to stand up against racism well before Kaepernick. He's now telling his story in a documentary called Stand. Muhammad Ali, John Carlos, Tommy Smith. Athletes who took risks to stand up for social justice. And well before Colin Kaepernick took a knee, there was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
I thought that at that time there was an attempt to assassinate my character, not listening to the full extent of the message. There was a focus on tyranny, oppression, but negating the other.
His willingness to take a stand.
Showtime's new documentary called Stand explores Abdul-Rauf's struggle with poverty and Tourette syndrome, as well as his conversion to Islam and his stand against racism. It features stars from the sports world and the entertainment world, like Stephen Curry, Steve Kerr, Shaquille O'Neal, Mahershala Ali, and Ice Cube.
Please rise for our national anthem.
This Mahmoud thing has really touched on some nerves.
One of the greatest players in history was cheated out of his career.
You might remember this story. Back in 1996, the NBA suspended and fined him for refusing to stand for the national anthem. And that, essentially, was the end of his career.
There's a country club environment that exists, right? And there are people that have conversation. And so you know that after, because history shows that after making those types of decisions, your career is going to be short-lived if you continue to do that.
Has the league, any representatives in the league in the almost 30 years now, reached out to you, and whether it's had a conversation with you or an apology to you, any sort of dialogue?
And I don't anticipate that ever happening. I think, even now the NBA, they fashion themselves as being progressive in comparison to the NFL. But I think a lot of that is just for public consumption. If you're really progressive, if you're really about change, why haven't you reached back on those people who have been affected, that took positions, and bring them into the fold, not to try to control their voice, but bring them into the fold and say, hey, this is a new era.
Am I saying that everything in America is bad? No. But wherever the bad is, as a Muslim, we don't stand for it.
That's when a lot of people turned on him.
Mahmoud never said, I'm gonna burn the house down, but the Klan burned his house down.
I thought I was gonna die every day.
We should have covered him. We should have had his back, but we didn't.
In this documentary, there are a lot of Hall of Fame and Hall of Fame caliber players speaking on your behalf. Is that something that's touching to you?
It's very touching to see those players come out and not be afraid to associate, right, with this film, unlike others. So I'm humbled. I'm grateful for their participation.
Another person Abdul-Rauf has spoken with is former 49er Colin Kaepernick. The two met a few years ago in the Bay Area.
In the whole meeting, the thing he said that resonated with me the most was he said, this is the most free that he's ever felt in his life. and that's the way I felt and still feel.
You at peace with all of this?
Accepting Islam years ago gave me a sense of peace that I've never had in my life. However, I will say this, as long as I feel that there are abuses, injustices, tyranny, whatever it is, there's a saying that, there's no peace without justice. I'm in a state of peace, and because I'm always trying to be in a state of gratitude as well, because there's always something to be grateful for.
It's a fascinating story that you continue to live in your life. I appreciate your time, Mahmoud. Thank you. Best of luck, and we'll be supporting this film and this documentary.
Thank you even more. Appreciate you.